Thank you. Clerk will call the roll. Here you go.
Councilor Anderson. Councilor Kamel.
He is here.
Councilor Condon. Councilor Crowe. Councilor Murphy. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Seeker. Councilor Spatafora. Councilor Winslow. Council President DiMaria.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Under the provisions of open meeting law, and for those of you in attendance, please be informed that MATV is recording this evening. So be aware that there will be audio and video recordings of this meeting. Also, resident John Mario will be recording this meeting as well. Okay, first order of business.
Dora St. Martin, Director of the Malden Public Library, will speak before the council.
Welcome, Director. You might want to move it down.
Yeah, I'm short. Thank you. For those in the audience, my name is Dora St. Martin. I'm the Director of the Malden Public Library and Converse Memorial Building, located at 36 Salem. I just want to thank Councilor DiMaria for allowing me to take a few moments to speak with you this evening, and also to take this moment that I don't get often to thank the other city councilors for your continued support of the library. I'm here tonight for something very positive. I'm here to invite the community to attend a very special event on Monday, November 19th at 6 p.m. in the historic Converse Memorial Building. We will be presenting on this evening a public art tour celebrating a very special new acquisition by renowned artist Frank Stella. In August of this year, I received a phone call from an anonymous donor that was interested in acquiring a work by Frank Stella, one of the most important living American artists, for our collection. After catching my breath, I contacted the representatives of the artist to see how best to go about buying a significant work. I was so thrilled when I received word less than 2 weeks later that not only was Mr. Stella willing to sell our benefactor, now known as Mr. John Giso, to donate a work to donate to the library, but he himself was going to donate 2 more significant works. I cannot overstate how significant it is that Mr. Stella chose these specific works to be displayed in Malden. As you will learn on the tour, if you come, one of these works he chose has a link to great literature and is such a perfect fit for a library. Our thanks go to Mr. John Giso, his husband Michael Natal, who donated $5,000 during a recent reception to continue the care of this art, and the artist Frank Stella for his amazing kindness. It was a wonderful surprise at the last minute that Frank Stella himself and his wife decided to drive from New York City for the event to see the work unveiled in the galleries, and then drove themselves home that evening so she could go to work the next day. It was really quite a wonderful treat. For those who don't know, Frank Stella was born in Malden. His father was a local doctor, and his mother a painter and watercolorist. His father, Dr. Frank Stella, was a graduate of Immaculate Conception, Malden High, and Tufts Medical School, and he delivered many Maldonians, as people like to tell me when they talk about Frank Stella. He also worked at Malden Hospital. In 1934, he married Constance, and they had 3 children, including Frank. Frank Stella's relationship with the Malden Public Library goes back to his attending story time with his mom. In 1959, he also exhibited his early paintings in the Converse galleries. There is a wonderful article in the Malden News on June 17, 1959, where it says, "His work caused a mild uproar in Malden, and small groups of serious-minded devotees of Malden art gathered together in quiet and not-so-quiet groups all over the city to discuss his paintings." During a recent visit, Mr. Stella called the Richardson Building a powerful aesthetic force, and which was so lovely to hear. After graduating from Princeton, Stella moved to New York and began his career as an artist. At only the age 23, his work was included in a major exhibition, 16 Americans, at the Museum of Modern Art. In 1970, at the age of 34, he became the youngest artist ever to receive a full-scale retrospective at the Museum of Modern Art. He went on to receive honorary degrees from Princeton, Dartmouth, and the Schiller University in Germany. He received an Order of the Arts and Letters from the French government. In addition, a recent retrospective in 2015 at the Whitney showed his lifetime of work. So we're really excited to finally have his work in our galleries. So please join me on November 19th, where we will view these new works, and like those before us, we will gather together in quiet and maybe not so quiet groups to discuss these new paintings. I also want to invite everyone to come that day because we'll also have open our War and Remembrance exhibit, Malden in the Great War. This exhibit is on display. It's a collaboration between the library and the Historical Society, and it's only on display till November 28th, so it's also a great day to see that exhibit. So I hope you'll come out, and I thank you again for letting me speak with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dora. I open it up to anybody who would like to ask Dora a question. Just show. Thank you. Councillor Anderson? No? Oh, okay. From the chair, I just want to say that our Malden Public Library is such a beautiful gem in our city, and we, on behalf of all the council, appreciate all the hard work that all the employees of the library, as well as the director, do every day. And to obtain a Frank Stella, 3 of them, is amazing.
And they are on the walls already.
Oh, there. Good.
And I did want to say, if you're not able to make November 19th, please just give the library a call, ask for Dora. We set up quick tours. You can be a group of 1, you can be a group of 2. We'll get you through the building. Thank you.
Thank you. Might have to be a field trip. Thank you, Dora.
You're welcome.
Okay. Public comment?
Nobody.
Lisa? None? Okay. Very good. Okay, next order of business.
Approval of the minutes for October 23rd, 2018, and October 30th, 2018.
Okay, on Councillor Murphy's motion to approve the minutes, all those in favor? Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Next order of business.
Outdoor parking, Northeast Snow Services, 531 Rear Broadway.
Refer to License Committee.
Thank you on Councillor Anderson's motion to refer the petition to license. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The petition is referred. Next order of business.
Do you want me to do these all at once?
The finance papers.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Order that the sum of $3,091.67 be the same as hereby transferred from the Revenue Reserve to the Board of Health operating costs. Order that the sum of $595 be and the same as hereby transferred from Revenue Reserves to the Board of Health auto mileage. Order that the sum of $1,803 be and the same as hereby transferred from the Revenue Reserves to the Board of Health vaccine program. Order that the sum of $5,000 be and the same as hereby transferred from Revenue Reserves to the Board of Health Professional Services.
Madam President, I'd like to refer all 4 finance papers to Finance Committee, please.
Thank you. On Councillor Condon's motion to refer those 4 matters to finance, all those in favor? Any opposed? Those matters are referred. Next order of business.
Be it hereby ordained that Section 8.30 of Chapter 8 of the Revised Ordinance of 1991, as amended, be further amended by adding a new section, K, relative to vacancies and hirings.
Thank you. That's sponsored by Councillor Murphy, Councillor Crowe, and myself. On Councillor Murphy's motion to
I'd actually just like to
certainly
speak to it for a
go right
moment.
ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. For those of you who haven't delved into the actual Granicus to see what this is, what it does, it adds a section to, do want to refer this to rules and ordinance, but it does add a section that would give the council the ability to confirm assistant positions, such as we had an incident tonight where one of our councilors had not met one of our new assistants. I think it's very important, as we've found out during personnel and appointments this year, for folks to come before the council and recognize the fact that we are, a body that does have confirmation authority. But even more important, this particular change affects the directors who report to us. So that if a director is going to hire an assistant, whether it be an assistant controller, an assistant treasurer, an assistant city clerk, an assistant registrar of voters, assistant solicitor, assistant assessor, that we would have final say, final confirmation authority on those positions. I think this needs some discussion. We might come out of it with, something changed as to, in addition to the way that I've put this in. But I think from a succession planning point of view, that we as a council need to know what our department heads are doing within the departments, and this gives us a little bit more control over who's being hired, who's being brought in as probably the next person who could potentially take over that job. So I think it's a good time for us to discuss this in rules and ordinance, and I'm sure it will be a lively discussion. Thank you. So a motion to move to rules and ordinance.
Thank you, Councilor Murphy. I do have a light on the floor, so I am going to take that. Councilor O'Malley?
I would just like to thank Councilors Murphy, Crow, and DiMaria for bringing this up. I will definitely have it in ordinance for discussion, so just let me know when you guys would like to talk about it, and I'll make sure that we schedule that. So thank you again.
Thank you, Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Spatafora?
Thank you, Madam President. I will support sending this to ordinance. I think it's important to discuss. I did have a brief conversation with Councilor Murphy. I understand the intent of the paper, and I think to Councilor Murphy's point, I think it's worth discussing. I understand the intent. I just think we might be a little bit overreaching in terms of, we have trouble hiring one person, never mind 8 of us or 9 of us agreeing on directors. But I will be willing to support this going to ordinance. Like I said, I think it's important that this paper be heard, and hopefully we can come out of ordinance with something that I think, I don't want to say both sides, but we can all agree on. I just don't want to see something become more political than it automatically is already. Every hiring in the city is political. We all know that. We'd be lying if we didn't know that. This takes a job that, in my opinion, is somewhat insulated from that process. Now, we don't have control, but we also don't get involved. I think by bringing this under our domain, it's cast a light, I think that could be not the intent. But again, I believe in Councilor Murphy's intent and be willing to support going to ordinance with this. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Spatafora. Councilor Anderson?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I think it's a great idea. I think that, we are a political body, and from what the sponsor has described to us, it doesn't sound like we're doing the selecting, but you're asking that the council be doing the confirmation of the hiring. And I think that makes good sense, that we have a role in that. So I, too, will be glad to support it going to the committee. And if there are other details that aren't coming to mind, be willing to listen to that. But on the surface of what I've just heard, I think it makes good sense that we do that. So I'd be glad to support it going to paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Anderson. Seeing no further lights on Councilor Murphy's motion to refer this matter to Rules and Ordinance, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That matter has been referred. Thank you. Next order of business.
Be it hereby ordained that, ordained by the Malden City Council that Chapter 12 of the Revised Ordinance of 1991 as amended, being the same hereby further amended by adding a new section, 700.15 as follows. 700.15, Development Impact Mitigation.
So the intent is just to refer this to ordinance, but this is a paper that Councilor Spatafora had brought up in, I think, 2008, and I had spoken with Michelle Romero about making, because I think there's some misunderstanding about where developer mitigation comes from and in what zones. Right now, it's just the residential incentive overlay zone, a very small area in the square, in the Rose Quarry Reclamation District. This would actually extend it to the entire city. Definitely just a discussion and ordinance. Eventually, it would need to go to the planning board, but we figured we'd get this rolling. So I'd move to refer to ordinance.
Thank you, Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Spatafora.
Yep, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say yep. Counselor O'Malley did reach out to me. I'm excited to bring this back. I think it's a good time. The intent, the last time the challenges were, we couldn't figure out a mathematical formula to figure out what would be fair and equitable to a possible developer. Some thought square footage, some thought by units. There was a whole bunch of ideas. It just never got formulated. I'm willing to sit down. I think, Council O'Malley, it's a good time to bring back the ordinance and figure out a way to help create this incentive throughout the entire city and figure out a way that is both fair for the developer and also for the residents in the city of Malden. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Spatafor. And seeing no further lights on Councilor O'Malley's motion to refer the matter to Rules and Ordinance, all those in favor? Any opposed? The matter is referred. Thank you. Next order of business.
Claims, Lewis and Steve Fedler, 33 Francis Street, Malden. What's a claim?
You want to do both of them or individual?
It's only one, I think.
No, there's another one. Michael Coughlin, 11 Avon Street, Malden, Mass. Oh, Melrose, I'm sorry. Those are the two.
I'd make a motion to refer both claims to Claims Committee, Finance.
Thank you. On Councilor Condon's motion to refer both claims to Finance, all those in favor? Any opposed? Those claims are referred. Next order of business.
Committee report, paper 419 of 18, livery, Ishi Maki, 41 Samet Street, Malden, one new car.
On Councilor Anderson's motion to receive the committee report, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee report is received. Councilor Anderson for the committee.
Thank you, Madam President. This is an application for a livery license that was applied for, went through the License Committee. We deliberated the application. We heard from our compliance inspectors. It passed all of the check boxes that we needed to go through, and the committee voted unanimously to grant this license, and I asked the full council to do so, granting. So my motion is to grant.
Okay, thank you. On Councilor Anderson's motion to grant the petition, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The petition is granted. Next order of business.
Did we have personal privilege?
Okay, we can certainly do that first. All right, so it's, our docket is clear. We're going to move forward with personal privilege. Oh, my goodness, look at all the lights. Councilor O'Malley, first up.
I got it. I just want to thank everyone. A happy Thanksgiving. I'm sure that we're going to have a number of happy Thanksgiving wishes. I also do want to say that I think it's this coming, or is it next Friday? This coming Friday, the gallery on Main Street at 480 Main Street will be celebrating its one-year anniversary. It's a pretty big milestone for us, from considering that a few years ago that was a vacant space for a long time, and that is now a center of arts and culture in our community. So congratulations to the gallery. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Winslow.
Yeah, I too wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and it's a great time for everybody to get together with family and friends and really just be thankful for that and the food, and so it's a very special holiday for me. And I also, I guess I'll defer to Councilor Sika about the Vote 16 hearing that the Citizens Engagement Committee is having this Thursday. I think she can fill you on more details of that, but that's coming up on Thursday, the Vote 16 hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Winslow. Councilor Murphy.
Yes, I will once again just kind of reiterate my fellow councilors and wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, and also say that on Saturday after Thanksgiving is our annual holiday parade, which will be kicking off down by the Salemwood School, coming down Salem Street into the square. It begins at 2 p.m. We hope you'll all come out to see all of the wonderful parade, the parade itself, and Santa, who usually is at the end of the parade. So see you Saturday.
Thank you, Councilor Murphy. Councilor Spatafor.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, not to be repetitive, but happy Thanksgiving. We're not on TV. That's why we're saying it early, even though it seems early this year. Also, a big support to all our local football teams who have our annual football games on Thanksgiving. I think it's important to note, too, the Bread of Life is something I participate in every year, and it's one of the best things I've done since I've been a counselor. I think it's going to my 10th year now of going down there and help deliver the meals a day of Thanksgiving. Also, Councilor Murphy mentioned the parade, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and hopefully, which I think 2 years in a row we can call a tradition now. We will be lighting the Christmas tree at the Fellsmere. It's the tree that we purchased last year for Ward 3, and I've just got the okay. We're going to have it up by tomorrow, so we'll be ready to go the Saturday after the parade. So come by after the holiday parade and the tree lighting ceremony in the square. We'll be lighting ours at the Fellsway, and I believe there might be a surprise guest coming to help light that tree. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Spatafora. Councilor Sika.
Thank you, President DeMaria. Okay, so like Councilor Winslow had mentioned, thank you, I forgot. This Thursday, we are having a citizen engagement forum for the Vote 16. It will be 6 o'clock here at the Malden Senior Center. We urge the public to come and voice their opinions or concerns as to whether we should allow 16-year-olds to vote in our municipal elections. I also have a couple of other things that I would like to. Malden Pop Warner, we have 2 teams going to Disney World. Congratulations to the cheerleaders from Malden Pop Warner. And this past Sunday, Malden High School cheerleaders qualified for states for the first time in what I've been told years, many years. You coached?
I did.
Do you know what year that was?
91?
So they have not qualified for states since 1991, and they are headed there this Sunday on November 18th. I'm not sure of where, but go Malden.
Thank you, Councilor Sika. Councilor Anderson.
Happy Thanksgiving. As others have mentioned as well, I can't let that opportunity to go by without saying that. The holiday parade, as Councilor Murphy has talked about, it will take place on the Saturday following Thanksgiving. And I want to point out to those of you who are here in the council chambers and those at home to say to you that there are a lot of organizations that have units that will be marching in the holiday parade. And many of those, and myself included, would welcome any other residents that would like to join with us. In Ward 7, we put together a float with a big inflatables and the music and the sounds and so forth. And I love parades, and I look forward to it. And I think that this holiday parade that we do on the Saturday after Thanksgiving is a great one. And it's a great way to show our Malden spirit. And it's a great way for people who aren't otherwise involved or engaged in things in the city of Malden to plug in. So if you're interested in joining me in my Ward 7 float, just give us a call. I'd be glad to have you. But all of the units, all of the schools, the dance studios that are here, the veterans groups that are here in Malden, they all would welcome having additional people come out and join with them. And speaking of celebrations, I want to commend my colleague from Ward 2, Councilor Paul Condon, for leading a great effort that we all are very, very proud of.
Yes.
What Paul Condon did and taking the bull by the horns and erecting and having the city come together to dedicate this World War I monument and redirected the parade from its typical Veterans Day march to go all the way to the monument. So, Councilor Condon, congratulations, a great job that you did. A great job that our city did in general, and I couldn't be more proud of being a Maldonian. And that's it for my list. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Anderson. I think Councilor Spatafora wanted to chime in.
Councilor Anderson said it. I wanted to congratulate Councilor Condon. I know he thanked everybody that day. He didn't take a bow himself, so it was something I know he made a point last year. He said he would get it done, and literally up to the Thursday before, he got it done. So it's not an easy endeavor, and I know we thanked a lot of people, a lot of businesses, a lot of councilors, the mayor's office, everybody who came out, and the veterans, but a classy display, and it was quite moving to hear that I think it was the Brigadier General said, we're the only community he recognized that, I think in the country, that actually has a World War I memorial. So I know I'm repeating the council of our size. I know I'm repeating Council Anderson, but I think it's worth repeating. Congratulations, Council Connie. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Spatafora. Councilor Condon.
Thank you, councilors. I wish I could take credit for this historic memorial, but I really can't. It was such a community effort. All the veterans and their families, those are the people that should be honored. The community stepped up big time, as every one of you councilors did. Of course, I drove you crazy for about a year, but the Veterans Office, the World War I Committee, the Mayor's Office, the residents out there that threw their full support behind this. We now have a World War I memorial site that is, I'm so proud of it, for it to be located in Dever Park. It's such a historical site, and I know it's going to be there for the 200th year. We won't be, but that will be. But it was such a beautiful ceremony yesterday. The World War I Memorial Committee, the Veterans Office, like I said, 2 people stepped up to put it all together, 2 of our department heads. Jimmy Cahill from the Forestdale Cemetery, and our city controller, Chuck Ranigan, really put the construction phase of it, got it all together, and those monuments actually didn't go up till, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. So everybody was under the gun, but it worked out beautifully, and it's something every citizen in Malden, every veteran's family, 3rd and 4th generations, there's names up on that wall that you will recognize, family names, and it's just proud to be part of it, and I thank you all. Thank everybody that contributed. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Condon. Councilor Camille.
Well, it's hard to follow that, Councilor Condon. But I just wanted to join the rest of my colleagues here and say Happy Thanksgiving. Didn't want to miss the opportunity to say that to everybody. It's important to remember all the things we are thankful for. Remember that, many years ago, people came to this land seeking freedom to live the way that they want to live, to seek new opportunity, and people still are doing that right now. And I think we shall be thankful for, this country that we live in, the opportunity for folks to be able to come here and experience freedom and prosperity that they would not likely have had other places. And I think it's important to remember that and come together, especially in times that can get so contentious as now. So, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Councilor Camille. And from the chair, I would be remiss if I did not mention Saturday's event of restoration and a wonderful morning service that we had. I was joined by Councilor Anderson and Councilor Winslow at the synagogue in Ward 7. So many speakers, so much love in that room, and support in that room on behalf of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, amongst all the other sad news we continually get. But it was wonderful to be part of that. And also from the chair, happy Thanksgiving, beginning of the holiday season. So thank you very much. And yep. Councilor Crowe, sure.
I apologize, Madam President. Actually, besides saying happy Thanksgiving to everybody, just to remember that the Bread of Life is doing the Don't Be Alone for Thanksgiving at Malden High School, 12 to 2. Come on down. They really put on a beautiful meal. lots of fun, lots of camaraderie. So I hope to see everybody there. And I just wanted to say that actually Councilor Condon did a fantastic job on Sunday, but on Saturday, we dedicated a memorial square to Jeremiah Kelleher, who has 2 Purple Hearts. It's at the corner of, on Main Street at the corner of Newhall. He was a father of 12, and he really gave a lot. He was a state trooper after his service to our country. So I hope people stop by there and just recognize that all that he's done for Malden. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Crowe. Wonderful. Okay, next order of business.
Executive session for the purpose of discussing the case of Emerald versus the City of Malden under Exemption 3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, public discussion of which may have a detrimental effect on the city's litigating position.
Thank you. On Councilor Crowe's motion to admit Attorney Lawrence Donahue of Morgan, Brown and Joy and Marie Louise, Special Assistant to the Mayor, into executive session, clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Anderson? Yes. Councilor Kamel? Yes. Councilor Condon? Yes. Councilor Crowe? Yes. Councilor Murphy? Yes. Councilor O'Malley? Yes. Councilor Seca? Yes. Councilor Spatafora? Yes. Councilor Winslow? Yes. Council President DiMaria?
Yes. And on Councilor Crowe's motion to enter into executive session with Attorney Lawrence Donahue and Maria Louise, clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Anderson? Yes. Councilor Kamel? Yes. Councilor Condon? Yes. Councilor Crowe? Yes. Councilor Murphy? Yes. Councilor O'Malley? Yes. Councilor Seca? Yes. Councilor Spatafora? Yes. Councilor Winslow? Yes. Council President DiMaria?
Yes. And the council will enter into executive session and will reconvene for the purposes of adjournment only. So on Councilor Seca's motion to adjourn, all those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Excuse me. Thank you, Councilor Anderson. We will recess into executive session. Thank you.